let's talk a little bit about interspecies reviewers again, because this anime just can't catch a break. It is a constant fight. But this is not that unusual for actual fans of things like this. We're always going to be at odds with the normies, and now that more normies are infecting anime, the fighting's just going to keep getting worse. The stuff we want, we're going to have to fight for. And while it was looking up for a little bit, because Anime Lab was saying, oh, we just gotta find another source of subs, and we're gonna stick with it. The fan subbers are obviously turning out, see, the fan subbers got our backs, unlike the Western localizers. Yeah, they're turning out, we can still enjoy it. But the hits still just keep coming, though. We may be supporting it enough to get interspecies reviewers to be the #1 ranked anime on my anime list. Good job with that, guys. But the opposition keeps deplatforming it, so let's see what's going on. Interspecies Reviewers anime is pulled from Amazon Prime. I don't know, who could have seen this coming? The censorship train keeps on rolling through this station of content deemed inappropriate by the overlords of media. This time around, it's Interspecies Reviewers who is back in the limelight shortly after being pulled from Funimation. Amazon Prime is the culprit behind the latest deplatforming of the ecchi-themed anime. So this show's first episode was made available on January 11th on Amazon Prime, as indicated by a cached archive of the Amazon Prime video page captured from the February 5th of current year. If you check the page now, you'll see that it has been removed and is now listed as unavailable. But this is the important thing. Our agreements with the content provider don't allow purchases of this title at this time. So I believe actually that Amazon Prime may have been victim to the same bullshit that Anime Lab was, where they were using Funimation's release. And see, Anime Lab can still keep releasing it once they get another source of subtitles, because they're just Australia and New Zealand, I believe. But Funimation was the North American, or at least the US. Funimation was the US licensor of this show. So if Funimation says nobody is going to air this show, so even if Amazon wanted to keep showing it, they can't. So this is one of those, there may be more to this story, but right now, I actually don't fault Amazon Prime for doing this, because I don't think they had a choice. Yeah, Funimation is the one who holds the license in the US, and if they don't want Amazon Prime showing it in the US anymore, nothing Amazon can do about it. So they say right here that, no, it was the agreements with the content provider, which was Funimation. And so as pointed out by the Anime News Network, the most trusted name in fake anime news, the manga series is still available to purchase on the Amazon storefront, but the anime stream is currently unavailable, dubbed in English, and also unavailable subtitled. So typically, there's a domino effect when major distributors start pulling support for a product. Don't be surprised if other streaming services also pull the show as well. But that depends. If these other streaming services were relying on Funimation, they may not have a choice. Anime Lab recently boasted that they still have the show available on their service, but they only offer streams to those residing in Australia and New Zealand. That's also not to mention they're a subsidiary of Sony along with Funimation, so it's possible that if this is Sony's doing and they want the anime off of Anime Lab, they can very well make it happen. Given their PlayStation censorship policies, it's not far-fetched that we could see them making such a move. And you know, this would have pissed me off if this happened a few years earlier, but now I just did a rant about how I wish the Japanese would skip Western localizers and middlemen completely, just subtitle and dub it over in Japan and make it available to us. I'd much prefer that. The West can't be trusted. Cut out the Western middlemen. Go directly to us customers. So I'm glad this is happening now. This is just going to cause fan subbers to come back. It's great. So for now, distribution platforms are taking every opportunity to remove interspecies reviewers, further proving that censorship is steadily increasing and will continue to increase as the regressive left usurps all forms of media you used to enjoy. That is true, but it's getting worse, even in Japan, because interspecies reviewers was also canceled on Tokyo MX. So that's one of the many stations that was airing it, and it wasn't even the uncensored one, so don't freak out too much yet. The raunchy anime interspecies reviewers, also known as Ishizoku reviewers, can't catch a break. After Funimation dropped it and Amazon Prime dropped it, now Tokyo MX has dropped it. The anime man Joey Basinger spotted the news from the official Interspecies Reviewers Twitter account, which announced the cancellation on February 7th of current year. A prominent Japanese network that is broadcasting Ishizoku Reviewers has canceled the series entirely from the television broadcast. How do you fuck up this badly? Well, you listen to outrage mobs, this is what's gonna happen. According to the Anime News Network, In-Species Reviewers is still available on KBS Kyoto, Sun TV, BS11, and ATX. ATX is the big one because they show it uncensored. And outside of Japan, you can still view streaming episodes on Anime Lab if you happen to be in New Zealand or Australia and have a VPN, but there's also Sailing the Seven Seas. The fan-subbers are here. They got our backs. Yeah, I believe the one I watched was from Judas. It seemed okay. I mean, I'd say it may take an extra few hours for the fan-subbers to work, because, I mean, speed subbers are a thing, but if you want, okay, like much better fan subs, you're not going to be able to watch it within an hour of the Japanese broadcast anymore like you could with simulcasting, but you'll get a good one within the day it launches. You'll be fine. So from the sound of it, Amazon Prime won't be licensing the show from any other distributors after Funimation canceled the streaming license, and Tokyo MX appears to be in the same boat as Funimation. Well, you see, Amazon, I don't know if they can. As long as Funimation has the rights in the US, Amazon Prime can't do shit. They can't. Until Funimation gives up the rights to someone like Sentai, no one else can do anything. Now, as mentioned in the last article, once the train of censorship gets rolling, there's no stopping it. Expect more distributors to drop the license for airing the show, and expect more streaming services to pull out, making it available only via pirate streams and torrents. I'll get to that shortly. That's funny, though, is that the anime fans around the world are coming out in droves to show their support for Interspecies Reviewers, and it is now the #1 ranked show on my anime list, at least as of the recording here. The auspices of fan support don't compensate for the lack of legal streaming options, though. Yes and no. The only way the original production committee are going to make bank on the show is via Blu-ray sales at this point, assuming outlets such as Amazon Prime don't cut short their abeyance and relicense the show from another distributor. Yes and no. Here's the part where we can actually make this show a smashing success. Except with original anime. Anime like Interspecies Reviewers that is based on source material, a lot of times these production committees actually go into it expecting the anime to be a loss. Because a lot of anime, again, the one exception being original anime, original anime are the product themselves. But anime based off of manga, like Interspecies Reviewers, is a very expensive commercial, basically. It's an advertisement for the source material, for whoever does the opening and ending songs, an advertisement for the merchandise. If you want to make Interspecies Reviewers a smashing success, and you don't want to buy the very expensive Blu-rays in Japan, as long as the source material sees a huge uptick in sales, as long as the merch is making bank, as long as the original songs are making bank, it'll be fine. The anime itself can lose money, but it will be back. The production committee will get the point if the anime served its purpose as a commercial. So notice who sits on these production committees, though. Yeah, you got obviously, a representative for the original creator. So in this case, it would be whoever publishes the manga, I believe. You got at least one music company, and it's their music that are used in the intro and the outro and all that. Maybe some insert songs, depending on the genre. You got toy manufacturers, figure manufacturers, merchandise people. All of these companies are on the production committee, and they agree to work together to make an expensive fucking commercial known as anime to sell all of their other products. Now, it's awesome when the anime makes a lot of money on its own, but they don't expect it to. So don't worry. Just because you can't legally stream it here in the West anymore, or at least in the US, and you can't give them money that way, you can still send the point by buying the merch, by buying the CDs, the music, by buying the manga. All of that is going to show them that the anime was worth it. If they look at their sales charts and they see that after launching the anime, the sales of all the source material and the merch and the music skyrocketed, and the amount of extra money they got from that is way more than the money they put into the anime, they very well may just continue making it, even at a loss, because it's serving its purpose as a commercial. You remember, these guys pay money to the TV stations, too, to show this stuff. It is a commercial. Here in the West, it's hard to see it that way because the anime itself is the product. But over in Japan, where it really matters, honestly, how much money it makes, it's a commercial for other stuff. So how hilarious would it be that despite being canceled everywhere, wouldn't it just be funny if interspecies reviewers ended up making them so much money that they decided, hey, you know what? Let's just ditch this antiquated TV model completely. Let's just maybe stream on Nico Nico or something and open it up to the West, subtitle it ourselves. And and all these guys are going to support us. They're going to buy our stuff again. We're going to make more anime like this. Now, we'll say, if you really, just buy the Blu-rays too. If you have the money, because Japanese Blu-rays are expensive. Although you do get a nice figure of that one fairy that measured their dicks when they went to the fairy brothel if you buy the collector's edition Blu-ray. And for that alone, it could be worth it. But if you have the money and you can afford it, and you really want to support the show, yeah, buy the merch, buy the music, the CDs, buy the manga, and buy the Blu-ray too. That'll be the best way to make the point. But if you can't support the show in any other way, if you don't have the money, the manga is releasing in the West. I think Yen Press has the license for it. Something like, yeah. But the point is, the manga is being released in the US. So if you just buy the manga in droves, they will get the point. Despite the fact that this anime was getting canceled everywhere, if all of the stuff that this commercial is trying to sell skyrockets, or better yet, they'll just make their own platform, get around it completely, give us what we want. As long as we keep financially supporting them, they'll keep giving us what they want. It's that simple. Don't forget, if you even if you can't legally give them money now, so I would suggest this: unsubscribe. If you had a subscription to Funimation streaming services, cancel that and take the money that would have gone to Funimation and buy the Interspecies Reviewers manga. That will send the point very clearly to merch shop. Link in the description box. So if you've ever wanted to support the channel but actually wanted something physical in return, we got the shop for you now. Lots of good stuff up in here. So if you would like any of those, or just in general want to support the channel, want to support original content, original products, like Diversity in Comics always used to say, then this is probably the best way to do it. So check it out. We're going to be adding new items on a monthly basis, at least in the near future. So check back often, and independent projects like the ones we're working on are only possible thanks to you guys. So appreciate all of your support.